All right, welcome back. It is the Vegas Take, Sharp and Shapiro. So glad you could join us. By the way, it's always nice to start off a segment when I'm going to talk about my co-host and he's not in the studio. Oh, there you are. You're back. Thank you. JD, you're in a little bit of a bad mood today. What's going on?
Feeling great.
You're feeling good? Okay.
I didn't say good, Brian. I said great.
No, you're feeling great. Okay.
We're talking great.
All right. Well, you ate your Frosted Flakes this morning.
I did not eat my Frosted Flakes.
So me and JD, we went to the Vegas Golden Knights game last night. It was a good game against the Bruins. Vegas Golden Knights were on the losing end of it. The Bruins are a really good hockey team, and the Knights, they can't win every game this season. But it was a fun game. It was a good game to watch, a lot of goals. So after the game, we're walking back to the parking garage. And by the way, it's brutal. So we're parking in this Aria parking garage, which is right across the street from T-Mobile.
The fifth floor of the Aria parking garage.
It must have taken us about 20 minutes to get out of there. Part of that is our fault because we left at a time where we probably shouldn't have left. We should have either stayed or left a little bit early. But
that's probably true.
Yeah. So anyway, we're leaving the garage. JD's in. We're all pissed off. We're sitting there, and I hate traffic just as much as anybody else does, right? So we're sitting there, and all of a sudden, this guy. What would you say? What kind of car was it, JD?
He had a black Durango. Had to be probably 2019. I mean, it was a $60,000, $70,000 car. It was a nice vehicle.
A black Durango. Okay. So we're already in line, so to speak. And he just doesn't even ask us, doesn't even put up his hand, hey, can I get through?
Well, he had watched us sit in line for about 7 minutes while he was waiting for his family to walk up. And then he walked right past us. Definitely didn't ask us anything. Didn't even acknowledge me. And inched right past me without anything. While we were just sitting there in line, ready to move forward.
So he cuts right in front of you, and you were livid.
I was beyond furious.
I look at the back of his license plate, and so do you, and it says he's a veteran. And I know how much you respect veterans as much as I do.
I do have a lot of respect for veterans.
We all know that, so I'm not questioning that with you. Don't get the wrong. But you were so angry. I'm just trying to give people an understanding of how angry you were about this guy cutting you off in a parking garage after a Knights game that you said to yourself, and you screamed out, "Yeah, who cares if you're a veteran? That doesn't matter." And then you started throwing some obscenities and stuff. So I thought it just...
I'm a pretty mild-mannered guy.
Yeah, you are. You're very
mild. In case our listeners don't know that.
I've never seen you get this angry before. So I thought that was the end of it.
But
right?
I am a and I'm gonna go the horoscope route here. I am a Libra.
I don't know what that means. I don't care.
Libras, when they get really, really angry,
I don't believe
it doesn't happen very often.
I don't believe in
that. I'm just suggesting whatever. But when it happens, it is an absolute explosion.
Okay, so but I thought it was over then. I thought you had calmed down. So the guy cuts in front of us. You're pissed. You called him a scumbag, and you said some disparaging things about his family members that were in the car. That's also important to note. That's how angry you were. I think some of his kids were in the car and his wife. You said some mean things about them, too.
I was extremely unhappy with that particular situation.
Yes. So I'm thinking, okay, it's over with now. And our friend Tim is in the back seat, by the way, who does a show on Fox Sports. So I thought it was over with.
Probably fearing for his life.
So, well, I was a little fearful, too, because you were driving erratic. You were so angry.
No, I was not driving erratic at all.
Okay, I'll get to that point where you were. So we take a right out of the parking garage.
Past the Puerto Rican Chris win.
Yeah, I'm not going to talk about that. Nobody knows what we're talking about, but let's continue with the story. So you take a right out of the parking garage, and the guy cuts you off again. We're driving on, is it Frank Sinatra? I believe it was Frank Sinatra Drive. We take a right out of the Aria parking garage. The guy cuts you off again, and you just lost it. You just lost your mind. You said just some of the most vile. You said some of the most vile things I've ever heard you say in your life.
Here's the issue. I let two cars go ahead. One was a Humvee, one was a nice Mercedes with a couple young ladies in it.
Yes.
And this guy watched me do that. Then he gets into his car and he just sneaks, and because he's probably like 4 or 5 feet ahead of me. That's just where he was parked, and he just very slowly creeps ahead of me because he's got a big vehicle, and I've got an Escalade, so I've got a nice large vehicle myself. And then he inches past me, and then he just keeps speeding up as I'm trying to get to my spot, and he just passes me. And my hands are in the air. I'm saying, "Hey, man, come on! You just watched me let these cars through. I've been here for 15 minutes. You watched me you watched me sit here, and you're just inching past me. You don't even care at all. You have no concern for the fact that I've been waiting here patiently.
We get it.
That's what made me the most mad.
Understand.
Is that this guy just thought that he could just do that, and that was okay.
Did you use the C word?
I'm not gonna even talk about the words that I used because I'm sure they were just awful.
They were the worst words I've ever heard.
I'm sure there's some of the worst words.
All right, let me finish.
In the English language.
The story's not over yet. We get it. You were very upset. He was out of line. But then we're on Frank Sinatra, and you're speeding up in traffic, doing everything you can to get to the right side of his vehicle.
I'm going like 25 or 30.
Yeah, and I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know. I didn't know what you had planned. So anyway, long story short, he speeds up dangerously, by the way, just to get on the side of this guy's vehicle. Keep in mind, his wife is in the passenger seat. He's got little kids in the back seat, and you flip him off and you scream out, F you, F you. And I'm dying laughing, and I'm also a little scared because you were driving a little erratic and you took your eyes off the road. So
that's not true.
Did his wife?
I was within the lines. I was definitely going about 25, 30.
You absolutely were not. Was his
totally
wife?
was.
No, you weren't. Was his wife looking at you when you did this? Was anybody? Were the kids looking at you?
He definitely saw me.
How about his wife?
And I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. I have no idea if his wife saw me. I wasn't concerned with that.
His wife had to see you.
The point is, he saw me. He knew I wasn't happy. He knew what he did, and he understands.
How old were his kids in the back seat, by the way?
I'm thinking probably maybe 12 to 14.
Daddy, Mommy, why is this mean guy in this car flipping us off saying F you? What did you do, Daddy? Well, I mean, what do you think was said there with the kids?
Something along those lines is probably what was said. Something similar.
Do you usually do that when people cut you off on the road? Because I just blow my horn. I don't go the extra mile.
It was a combination of things, Brian.
What was the combination?
I told you what the combination was. I already discussed
it. He cut you off twice.
He cut me off twice, and the first time he knew I was waiting there, he didn't care because he thought his time was more valuable than mine.
I mean, listen, I've seen you in some situations where you could have been more angry than that.
Significantly more angry.
I'm talking about other personal situations involving me or anybody. I'm just saying, why is it that you decided to lose your what because a guy cut you off? I'm trying to understand why that gets you more angry than other things.
I told you, it's because he thought that it was just perfectly fine for him because his time is more valuable than mine.
Isn't it possible he's just a bad driver?
It had nothing to do with being a bad driver.
I don't know. I'm just asking.
He literally watched me wait there.
Don't flip me off. Don't get angry at me. I'm just asking you a question. Well, it sounds like you're very irritated with me now.
He watched me sit there and wait. Didn't care about it. Inched forward. Took my spot. I said, "Hey, what's going on here?" Like, wait, I've been literally waiting for 10 minutes.
So our producer Jason Stein said we should have like a scumbag Hall of Fame here in the backdrop, like pictures of Bill O'Reilly and Lauer and Weinstein and all them. Would you put this driver last night in the scumbag Hall of Fame?
At that particular moment, I would have.
Did you get his license plate? Would you like to give it out on the air?
I did not get his license plate. Okay. I'm not going to give it out on the air.
I'm just asking you. That's all. Don't get angry at me. He's ready to flip me off now. It's unbelievable.
That's not true at all.
I hope I never see him like that again. It was very scary.
That is an absolute blatant lie.
Right. Well,
but
thank you.
I was not happy last night.
All right. Well, we definitely established that. So coming up next, this is going to be a lot of fun. One of my favorite bands since I was a kid. The band Live. They're playing at the Joint at the Hard Rock Friday night. The guitar player Chad Taylor will be joining us next. Take a quick break. Be back right after this. This is the Vegas Station.